Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. Today is gonna be a little bit of a different video. Today I'm gonna discuss 7 super hyped fragrances, and some of them are super hyped, rightly so, because they're outstanding, stunning, beautiful, and some of them I'm not so sure, so I'm gonna kind of introduce you to the alternative from the same brand. It's gonna be a fragrance that, in my opinion, deserves the same hype or even more hype, but it doesn't get it. So let me know if you like this kind of format, and if you do, please let me know down in the comments below what other brands would you like me to discuss, or specifically what other fragrances would you like me to make a similar video about. So I'm gonna start with the beautiful fragrance, and I have it and I love it, and the hype is real, and it's not the most recent fragrance, but due to the difficulty, like relative difficulty to get it, I don't know why it's so often out of stock. This is kind of unicorn fragrances for many of us. So I do happen to have this fragrance, and this is the Babycat. The Babycat by Yves Saint Laurent. It's their like more expensive sort of niche line. And so the notes of this fragrance are as follows. They have black and pink pepper. They have black pepper, elemi, pink pepper. I don't know why it's repetition. I have no idea. I'm copying these notes from Fragrantica. Olibanum, saffron. It's bourbon, vanilla, suede, and cedar. So this is beautiful, wonderful, very warm, very sultry, beautiful, peppery, spicy, but not like orientally heavily spicy. This is spicy, but it still stays in the category of kind of more European style fragrances. It's not like if you would walk in I don't know, in Turkey or in Marrakesh, in the middle of the marketplace where they would sell spices. It's not that there's something wrong with that, but I mean that it's not that level of spice. It is spicy, but just not at that level. It is kind of moderately spicy and very warm, very beautiful, very complimentary. I'm usually not a person that gets a hell of compliments. You know, I just probably people are a bit confused with my fragrances, with my scent, that it varies so often, so they don't really give me compliments. But this one, every time I have it, every time I have this fragrance on me, the compliments are guaranteed 100%. So this is a beautiful one. I got it as soon as it was launched on the website. It says on the bottle that it has the accord of Dame and Vanille, so it's like vanilla and suede accord, but it's like it's much more than that. Very beautiful, very nice, very feminine, and it's not like I can't see this fragrance on a man, but I think that it's more for a woman. It's more this kind of seductive and sultry and a night out, date night, something like that. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance, and the hype is real. It is real, and I believe I was one of the first people in the YouTube community that got it. This fragrance, as soon as it launched, I got it, and the only reason why I am regretting my purchase is that I should have got a bigger bottle. This is the only thing that I have to say. I should have got 125 mils instead of 75 mils, but I was thinking like, oh my gosh, it's so spicy. Will I like it? Will I not like it? What would I do with 125 mils, right? and it seems like a good idea at the moment to get a 75 because it would be relatively easy to sell it because it would cost less for the people to buy it. So yeah, you know, I should have known better and I should have gotten a big bottle. So beautiful fragrance. The hype is real. It's amazing. Next one is Gris Dior. It's beautiful fragrance, and I have to tell you the notes of this fragrance. The notes of this fragrance are oak moss, rose, patchouli, bergamot, amber, cedar, and sandalwood. So this is a beauty. I don't have a full bottle. I do have this a teeny tiny one, and I do have one more actually. So I have like 15 mils in total. So this is a beautiful fragrance. The hype is real. This is a beautiful contemporary, very nicely made, very the craftsmanship behind this fragrance is amazing. This is a modern time shipper. This is the shipper that is, it's not overpowering. It's not it's not a fragrance that kind of swallows you, because if you think of cheaper fragrances that came out like decades ago, we all know that those fragrances, they were like the beasts, and sometimes it was even kind of hard and uncomfortable to stay in a proximity of the person that would wear this kind of fragrance, because it was so potent, so bright and so projecting. This one is very nice. It's a clean shipper, I would say. It's modernized. It's a little bit like cut. I do think that they have cut the sillage of this fragrance. It's not so long. The projection is not super beastly, but this is a classy scent. This is like a black dress, I would say. The black dress, the fragrance that is wow for all the purposes, for every day, for the night out, for the working time, for the night out with the friends or with the girlfriends, what have you. This fragrance has a beautiful potential to become a signature scent, in my opinion. So the hype is real. It's very classy. It's very understated, but it's beautiful. It's beautifully done fragrance. Next fragrance that I want to tell you about is Gris Charnel by BDK. So it has the notes of cardamom, fig, black tea, iris. It has vetiver, sandalwood, and tonka bean. You have to know that I am a fan of fig fragrances. I like fig milk, I like fig leaf, fig whatever. I take every fig you can give me. And I also enjoy it as a fruit. So when I saw like Gris Charnel, it has fig, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Now I'm just gonna spray it on myself now. So this is a beautiful fragrance. It's not an overpowering fig. It's not very it's not very sweet. I mean, you can feel the fig. You can feel this greenness of the fig. You can feel the sweetness, but it's like usually they would pair fig with a coconut, with the coconut milk, because these kind of two things, they go very well together. This fragrance doesn't have a coconut milk. It doesn't have a coconut, but that's why we get this fruitiness of the fig and greenness of the fig, and we really feel this beauty of this fragrance, of this note, without additives, without this overpowering sweetness of coconut. And so I do love this fragrance so much, because the fig, it kind of stands out for me throughout all the time that you have this fragrance on you. But it's not overly sweet. It's kind of a bit watered down. It's very green, it's very light. I do think that the Gris Dior and this Gris Charnel, in my opinion, these fragrances, they can be worn um, interchangeably, I would say, because although the notes are totally different, I mean, this is not a cheaper fragrance, but this is a beautifully made everyday, and also the date out and the night out fragrance and the working fragrance. This is a very nicely fruity, a little bit irisy, sweet fragrance, but not overpowering. It's not the iris that makes you feel like it's like a bit dusty iris. It's sweet, but it's not overly sweet. Beautiful, beautiful, very, very well balanced fragrance. I enjoy this fragrance so much, and I do think that the hype is real because it's wonderful. And also I have compared this fragrance to the extreme version of Gris Charnel Extreme. I'm not a big fan of Extreme. I enjoy this one better. So the next fragrance is very strange for me. I mean, it's a beautiful fragrance, but I would never think that I would love this fragrance. And I do love it, but I wouldn't want to get it for my collection. Now I'm gonna explain why. So this is the Angel Share by Kilian. It has cognac, cinnamon, tonka bean, oak. It has vanilla and praline and sandalwood. So the reason behind me being shocked that I actually like this fragrance is because I'm not a fan of boozy fragrances. In fact, I dislike boozy fragrances. So every time that I like a boozy fragrance, for me it got me like off guard. I was like, what? Why do I like it? But this one is beautiful. It is very beautiful, and you know what was strange, that apart from the cognac, it also had cinnamon. That I am not a huge fan of cinnamon either. Well, in some combinations, in some fragrances, I can kind of tolerate it, but as a rule of thumb, I'm not a huge fan of this fragrance of this note. But in this mix, in this fragrance, it's good. It looks, it smells, it projects. It's amazing. It's very yummy. It's very beautiful, and I really enjoyed this fragrance while I was wearing it. I had a sample, and then I have got another sample, and then another one. So I had 3 samples in total. Until the second sample, I was like, well, it's good, and I'm considering buying it. And then the third sample came, and I kind of understood that I'm getting kind of overwhelmed by it. It's like it's almost a little bit too much for me. And the booziness, like the constant booziness of this fragrance, it got me, and I understood that, yeah, this is the fragrance I like from afar. This is the fragrance that I enjoy 5-6 sprays on me once in a while, like maybe once every 2-3 months, but I wouldn't be able to to wear it constantly, or often, or frequently at least. So this is a good fragrance. The hype is really, really real. But it's just that if you are not a fan of boozy fragrances, just like I'm not, like I am not a fan, you have to be quite attentive with this fragrance, because it can be tricky, but the hype is real. It's very beautiful, and this booziness and this cinnamon notes and this tonka, it gives this warmness, beautiful fragrance. And as a matter of fact, so many people use this fragrance in Christmas times, and I think it's just fitting for this purpose. Like, it's warm and nice and cozy and staying at home. Well, it's not like you can't go out with this fragrance. In fact, I went out once with this fragrance, and people would tell me that, well, you smell good, so I kind of take it as a compliment. So, good fragrance, the hype is real, a beautiful one, just tricky for people who don't like boozy and cinnamon. So we are coming to the next three fragrances that I don't think that the hype is real. And obviously I'm gonna introduce you to a fragrance that, in my opinion, is a fitting fragrance for you to try if you, like me, you don't think that the hype is real. So it's not about hating these fragrances. I'm not about this. I'm just sharing my opinion. So we're gonna start with the fragrance that it's impossible to ignore its existence. People know this fragrance. People know its name. So this is Delina. So, and mind you, please, that behind all these reviews and behind these thoughts, me as a human being, so my personal preferences, they play a huge part in these reviews. And should I be an avid user or lover of Rose, I probably wouldn't put this scent, the Delina scent, on the chopping block. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So Delina, it has lychee, rhubarb, bergamot, nutmeg, Turkish rose, peony musk, petalia. It's kind of a mix of fragrances, like flowery notes, something like that. So it has vanilla, cashmere, incense, cedar, and Haitian vetiver. So I tried this fragrance numerous times. I had samples of this fragrance. I did do a review on this. I just, at the time when I would make a review of this fragrance, of three fragrances actually, of all three of Delina, I wasn't making videos in English, so it's just in Russian. So anyway, and I have tried these fragrances and I have worn them, and these are not bad fragrances. It's just that I'm not a huge fan of rose. And you see, when I smell this fragrance, the Delina fragrance, I don't get the hype. Is it a good fragrance? Yeah, it's a good rose fragrance, but it's one of the many. It's one of the many. Instead, this is the fragrance that I like from the same brand. That is called Safanad, and I enjoy this fragrance. It is like my name is written all over there. So it has pear, orange blossom, ylang ylang, iris, vanilla, amber, and sandalwood. And this is, oh my gosh, it's so sultry, it's so beautiful. It has this very potent note of white flowers and citruses and white flowers, and it's so dominant, it's so beautiful. The first spray that I made of that fragrance, I was like, it reminds me of something. And when a fragrance reminds me of that fragrance that I'm going to tell you now, for me, it's automatically a fragrance that I like. So it reminds me heavily of Classique by Jean-Paul Gaultier. It kind of, it hit me like a wall, like it reminds me of Jean-Paul Gaultier Classique. And Jean-Paul Gaultier Classique is not a fragrance that came out today or yesterday. It came out in the 90s, so it has this 90s vibe, even though the fragrance of today, it's just so different from the fragrance that came out in the 90s, obviously. But anyway, still, the fragrances that you can buy today, they keep this original diluted, but the original DNA of the Classique of the 90s. So this fragrance is just like that. It's very 90s, beautiful white flowers, not dated. It's just so potent. The flowers, the white flowers of today are not so potent. They are kind of more, they are more sweet. It has a little bit of more this bubblegummy tuberose. But this one, it's very nice. It's very sweet. The sweetness is overpowering, and the white flowers and the sillage and the beauty of this fragrance. And I think, in my opinion, Safanad, it deserves of all the hype of Delina. It's just that many more people, like realistically, many more people enjoy rose over white flowers. realistically. So that's why Delina is much more popular than this one. So let's go to the next one, and the next one is an Italian brand, and it's called Danza delle Libellule, and it has red apple, bergamot, cinnamon, cedar, vanilla, coconut, and musk. So this is the fragrance from Nobile. Nobile 1942, so it's like Nobile 1942, right? So, and I just like with all the other fragrances, I have tried this fragrance and I have worn it and I have samples, and I actually had a decant of this fragrance, and I actually liked it. It's just that, is that a bad fragrance? No, absolutely not. It's beautiful. It's very sweet. It's more like, for me, it's more like summer vibe. It's like a bit silly and playful and nice fragrance, but it's nothing extraordinary. I mean, it's nice, but it's just nothing extraordinary in this fragrance, in my opinion. What is beautiful in Nobile 1942 is, in my opinion, a fragrance that is called Levante, and this is a masterpiece. It's on me now, and I love it. Even though I have to say, again, I was astonished that I actually like this fragrance, because it has this salty marine note that I don't like salt in fragrances. But this fragrance got me, completely got me. So it has sea notes, obviously, so it's watery, and then also it's salty. Sea notes, white flowers, jasmine, cedar, patchouli, caramel, vanilla, benzoin, raisins, and musk. This is amazing. This is the fragrance that when you sniff it, when you are enwrapped in this fragrance, it feels like you are in Italy on a seaside, and you just, it immediately it kind of, it takes you and it transports you to Italy, to the seaside. You are there, like in a moment, in an instant. Beautiful, wonderful fragrance. It's marine, but it's also white flower. It also sweet, but it's not a sickly sweet, and this is a very difficult combination to make, because on one side you have marine and salt, another one you have caramel and vanilla. And obviously, caramel and vanilla and sea salt bits, they work wonders when we're talking about candy, right? It's very, very tasty and yummy. But when we talk about fragrances, it's kind of very difficult to balance it out, because it can go so wrong. It can be like sickly sweet, and the contrast that comes with the salt, it might not be enough to kind of outweigh the sweetness, and as a whole you would end up with a fragrance that is absolutely unbearable. It's like yucky. But this one isn't. It's beautifully balanced, beautifully done fragrance. It's marine, beautiful, white, sweet fragrance. Amazing. This is a masterpiece, in my opinion. Danza delle Libellule. Is it a beautiful one? It is. I'm not hating on that fragrance, but this one is better. I think that Levante is much better. And so we're gonna end this little video experiment with the Maison Francis Kurkdjian fragrance, and I'm gonna talk about the fragrance Baccarat Rouge 540. Obviously, it's the most famous, it's the most important fragrance for the brand. So it has saffron, jasmine, amberwood, ambergris, fir raisin, and cedar. And even though I'm not a hater of this fragrance, and I have to say that I prefer extract of Baccarat 540 to the original version, I'm not a hater of this fragrance. It's a beautiful fragrance. I don't feel any horrible things that people say about this fragrance. I don't feel the hospital kind of iodine smells and cleanness, this kind of the chirurgical cleanness. I don't feel anything like that. I don't. It's beautiful. It's a nice fragrance. It's just that for me, definitely a fragrance that that attracts a lot of attention. That's for sure. But for me, is it an epitome of femininity? Because some people, they search for femininity in a bottle, right? And is it an epitome of femininity and beautifully done fragrance? Is it like variable often enough? I don't think so. There's the fragrance that I love so much, and this is the fragrance that is called Amyris Femme. So it has lemon blossom, California orange, Amyris, iris, vetiver, musk, and amber. So this Amyris is a raisin, right? So this is a beautiful, wonderful fragrance. It's super feminine. It isn't light. It opens up light, because it opens up with this kind of citrusy vibes and citrusy notes and a little bit of iris. So you immediately think that, well, it's gonna be something like prime and proper and not very long lasting. But then these raisins come in, and what you basically end up with is that this resinous, but not horrible, resinous and vetiver, a little bit dry fragrance with citrus, and it's a super feminine fragrance. Maybe if I put it like that, you wouldn't think that that vetiver and raisin are feminine, but they are. In that fragrance, they are. This is the masterpiece. This is like an unsung hero, in my opinion, because it's beautiful. It's beautiful and feminine. It can be light in the beginning, but then the lasting power is beastly. It is beast fragrance. I'm gonna spray it on me at the moment. So yeah, it's good. It is good. It's like universally pleasant and crowd pleaser, and this is the fragrance. Probably it doesn't go. It's not that noticeable like the Baccarat Rouge is, obviously, because of the reasons that this fragrance is kind of common, is kind of normal, but this is good. This is a compliment getter. This is the beautiful fragrance for every day, for every night, for work, for going out, for going to study. It's beautiful. It's nice. And this also, in my opinion, has this potential to become a signature fragrance. So yeah, I'm all for this one. It's beautiful. It's really nice. So yeah, this I think that this is gonna be the end of this video. I thank you for your attention. Please let me know if you like this kind of format of this video, and if you do, and if you can, please let me know down in the comments below other brands that you would like me to kind of comment on and give my opinion and sort of make similar video. Doesn't matter niche or designer, I'm gonna take both. So I thank you for your attention, and I'm gonna see you next Wednesday. Bye.